Hello and welcome to Nothing to Wear, the podcast that solves fashion problems and levels up your wardrobe. I'm Leigh Campbell, and every week I sit down with an expert who helps us work out how to get more out of the clothes we already own and tells us what is and isn't worth adding to our wardrobe. Now, do you wish you had a little genie in a bottle or a little person in your handbag that just knew about the best sales, when to go, when they happen, if they're worth it? Well, now you do, and her name is Sabrina. Sabrina's from Melbourne, and she was known within her friendship group for finding the best warehouse sales and sample sales, heading there early, scoping them out, and then telling her friends. And that advice was so popular, she started to post on social media. And now she shares the best sales from all around the country. So she's joining me today to talk about all things sales. Sabrina, welcome to the show. Since I found out you were coming on, I say this most times, but I've been most excited to talk to you than anyone this year. This is so up my alley. But before we get into the topic, I ask new guests 2 questions. The first one is, can you describe your own style in 3 words, and what are they?
Oh, this was really hard. I went with tailored, textured, and timeless.
Ooh, we love alliteration too.
I know. I really wanted to throw comfortable in there too,
Yes.
but it didn't work with my T's. So
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I was like, leave it with me. Okay, talk me through them quickly. So textured, I love your textured top. I love texture too.
yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily about a big texture like a fur. It's just I really appreciate the way that things feel, which is why I love shopping in person and running my hands over everything to be like, do I want this on my body?
And I feel like certain textures can feel luxe and expensive even if they weren't. Like some items, the texture or the fabric can give fancy vibes.
Absolutely. And it can go the other way too.
Oh,
You can have
totally.
something that's really expensive that you feel it and you go, oh, that's itchy. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
itchy, or like a fancy designer satin thing, and it's like, oh, that just looks like a pillowcase.
Mhm.
I love your words. Okay, so the theory that rings pretty true, people have a wardrobe. Who cares how big it is, but they wear 10% of all those things more than anything else. Their favourites that they reach for. What's in your 10%?
I live in Melbourne, so my 10% would be coats or like outerwear and sunglasses. I feel like a coat and a really great pair of
At the
sunglasses
same time.
can dress up anything. At the same time,
Yeah.
either or, but I can step out in my activewear, trackies,
Yes.
tailored pants, throw a coat on, throw sunglasses on.
So true.
together.
And you look like an Olsen incognito. I also find, I was thinking because, coat and then sunnies, but it's often quite glary on some of those colder days. Like, you know when it's overcast but really glary?
Yeah.
Sunnies are not just a summer thing.
No, and
No.
you find the different lenses. So I wear different
Yes.
lenses in summer, or I reach for different pairs in summer.
Like
Then
a
I
super
would in
dark
winter.
or, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I want to ask more about that. But we're not here for that. We're here to say thank you for your service, your incredible social media presence. I can't imagine how much it saved us all. So you've built up an amazing following, finding Australia's best warehouse sales. Take me back to the start. How did this come about?
Gosh, I feel like we should go to the very start. So
You start at the start, if you like. When were you born? No, I'm joking. But
How
yes.
long have we got? I have an older sister and a mum, and we used to go to warehouse sales and outlets together. I have these really strong memories of doing that with my mum. Bridge Road is really famous in Melbourne back in the day for that. And as I grew up, I developed this love and passion for Australian designers. Then cost of living, 2 children, a mortgage, the brands that I loved to wear were no longer in my budget. So I found a way around that by going to these sales. I would get there really early before work because I'm a full-time 9 to 5 kind of girl.
Wow.
Get there super, super early in the morning. And then after I'd been, I would drive to work. And on my drive, I would voice note all of my girlfriends in my group chat. Should they go?
Yeah,
Is
guys,
it worth
go.
their time?
I've seen it. Yep.
Yeah. That blazer that you want, no, they don't have it. Don't worry about it. Then it just eventually made its way out of the group chat and I posted it on TikTok and realized that the group chat is everybody.
Yes, it is. And how long ago was that?
I want to say maybe 2 to 3 years
Wow,
ago.
not that long ago.
No, it feels very fresh.
Yeah, wow. That's really impressive. But it's so true, that's what podcasts are as well. They're friends in your ears. Like, it's just women talking about stuff. And if people care about it in the WhatsApp, it's generally a service to us all. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So you were driving to these sales really early. How did you find out about them? Where did you, I guess, get that info, and where do you get it now? I'm wondering if brands like contact you and tell you. I bet they do now. But how did you know all this fabulous stuff?
A whole bunch of different places. I would find out through just signing up to email, brand email addresses, posters walking down the street.
I was going to say the amount of times I've said to my husband if I'm driving, get your phone out, zoom in, there's a telegraph pole, take the photo. And he's like, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's the basic sale.
I've definitely made my husband go back around the block before. The moment now brands reach out to me, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, because you're helping them advertise.
But I've also trained my algorithm quite hard.
Smart.
I like and share every single sale-related post to tell the algorithm that this is what I want to see. Please show me more of it.
That's why I'm getting ADHD and best friend content. That makes sense. Yeah.
And then also things like Google Alerts, just regularly checking websites. And then you also find throughout the calendar year there is a bit of a pattern to it.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that too. Okay. And so then that's all kind of, I guess, amalgamated into what you give us. Before we get into your personal strategy about how to navigate these sorts of sales, is there, and if so, what is the difference between a sample sale, a warehouse sale, an archive sale, closing down? So, I mean, closing down is pretty obvious, but do you find that there's a difference? Does it depend on the wording that the brand's using? Is one better than the other? Is it just like sale?
I think there is a little bit of nuance to it. It took me a while to figure it out. Part of it is the way that brands also want to communicate it and the message they want to give out of the feel of the sale. But at its most basic, a sample sale will be all of the garments that have been produced whilst designing the items. These typically in Australia are a size 8. So if you see something that is purely a sample sale, it's not really for everybody, unfortunately.
It's likely to be that size. I've been to a few where there's mostly 8s, but then there might be a rack of a few other sizes.
A little scattering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
An archive sale will be past season stock. So we call that dead stock. Anything that has been in the store, then made its way to its sales section and then has been taken offline. The brands have these extra stock and they need something to do with it. So they try to move it on to the consumer, make a little bit of their money back before putting it into landfill, unfortunately.
And a warehouse just means it's generally big and got stuff in it.
I think warehouse sale is like a catch-all.
Yeah, isn't it?
Kind
it's just like a term for come and buy our stuff for cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. I think archive feels a bit like, it doesn't feel so like discounty. It kind of feels like a bit insidery. But yeah, I've noticed certain terminologies to make brands not appear, if they're a more expensive brand, still not to appear salesy and discounty, but more sort of insidery.
Exactly. And brands can be really strategic about how they communicate their sales. And speaking to brands directly, they love these events because they have their consumer base that shop at full price all the time.
Yep.
But then they have a whole different category of people that can suddenly access their clothing and their brand. So they
and
build
that's sometimes entry level. And then you go, actually, the quality was amazing. I would consider full price.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I need to know all your tips and tricks. Let's talk about your sales strategies. So first, let's talk about an IRL. Let's just call them warehouse sales for the sake of, the whole category. Do you check out the brand online first beforehand to kind of guess what's there? I mean, obviously brands, you can probably guess what to expect. Do you make a wish list? Do you just wing it while you're there? What is your in real life sales strategy?
The first thing that I would do is if I have shopped the brand before, I go into my wardrobe, I go through the pieces and I look at what my size is.
Smart.
So then I know when I go to the rack in the sale, I'm picking the correct size. If you haven't shopped that brand before, I would absolutely look up a size chart online. Get your tape measure out and measure your body. It's going to save you so much stress when you actually arrive at the sale.
Yes, that's
Put it in your notes app too, because if you're overwhelmed in the moment, you don't have to think, what was I in the pants?
It in
what was
your
I in the
notes
top?
app.
It's there.
I was shopping with my mum yesterday and she got a just crumpled up piece of paper out of her wallet and she's got her in Country Road, she's sized this. And I was like, you're so cute, Mum.
I love that.
Yeah, but she didn't want to try it on. She knows it's a standard size shirt. That's her size. That's so clever. All right, you walk in. I mean, what are you wearing? Do you wear something that's easy to try things on over or whip off or, there's communal change rooms often?
If communal change rooms is a contentious point for you, I would recommend wearing leggings and a singlet.
Yes.
If you are going to a brand that sells big gowns, for example, like a Rachel Gilbert, then I would wear a strapless bra, perhaps some shapewear. Think, what would you wear under these clothes normally?
That is so clever.
Then you're getting a true picture of what the item will probably look like on your body when you're wearing it in real life.
Gosh, that's so smart. And shoes that easily slip on and off, because I went to a sample sale or warehouse sale a little while ago and I had well, they're just sneakers with laces. But then there were shoes there and I was like, sneaker off, sock off, shoe on. Oh, I finished looking here. Oh, look, there's another one, sneaker on. You've got to think about that stuff. All right, you walk in. What do? What if it's not size categorized? What if you get so starstruck like me that I'm like, oh, sequins, colors, prices?
I would have a plan before you go in.
Oh, God.
So don't go in with no idea of what you're going to get. That's where you're going to get caught up in this hype and this excitement and purchase things that you wouldn't normally purchase.
Yes.
I think with normal shopping, when you go to the local shopping centre with your girlfriends, it's not unusual to leave without buying something.
Yes.
Whereas when you go to these sales, I think there can be a pressure and a hype and you've lined up for you've lined up for a certain amount of time. You've had to find a car park. There's a pressure to purchase.
Yes.
And I think
to
that
make
pressure
it worth
to purchase
it
can be taken out of the situation. It's okay to leave with nothing.
Oh, that is so clever.
And if you go with a girlfriend, the way that I think about it is there's less pressure to not leave with something.
Yeah, because she might get something or you both go, oh, that was shit. And then you go and have a coffee.
And you can look at it as, well, I've just hung out with my friend.
Yeah, spent some time.
We've
That is
just had
so true.
a moment of connection.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Oh, I want to go with you.
But back to the plan.
Yeah. What do you like? You've got a plan. What is this plan?
I keep a running list in my notes app in my phone of things that I'm missing in my wardrobe. So when I get dressed in the morning, if I put on an outfit and then I go, oh, it needs a light coloured shoe. Oh, I don't have a light coloured shoe. This is so frustrating. Pop that down in your phone.
Clever.
In the moment of frustration, pop that down because you never remember what you don't have.
No, you don't.
Otherwise,
I don't even remember what I do have. That's why I've got so many repeat items that are almost the same.
So have a list of what you need and try to buy from that list so that you're not over-consuming. The other thing that I would think about is, do you have a holiday coming up? What kind of events are upcoming in your calendar and purchase for those?
And just is your lifestyle generally. Like I went to one recently and there was the most beautiful, it was a gown and I was like, I need it and it's such a good price. I don't go, like all the weddings are done in my life. I don't do a lot of fancy work events anymore. And I was like, she's so beautiful and she's such a good price, but I do not need her.
That was absolutely one of my tips that I had written down was purchase for your lifestyle because I was the same when I started going to all of these sales. I would buy all these beautiful things and I dress corporate most days. Yeah, got if 2 kids. I'm not dressing corporate, I'm with the kids.
Yeah, because I get a bit like, oh, I can be Carrie Bradshaw and I'll wear a tutu with some cowboy boots and then I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
be
not
realistic
to who you are.
Yes. One tip I'll have, say if you go in real life, if they've got like that chart with the coloured stickers or whatever and, $100, $70, $50, take a quick photo because the chart's might be all over the warehouse and you go, oh, green. How much was green? Was that 100? So you've got a photo of it in your phone and then you can quickly decide whether you want to try that on.
I love that so much. Yes. And that's something that whenever I go to sales early, I'm always trying to give the brands feedback.
Yes.
So I love when they categorize by size.
Yes.
Helps everybody.
Yes.
It's really clear.
Oh, I agree.
And you also need price points in the change rooms because that's where you're making your decision.
Yeah, and there's never that.
I have a budget. What fits within my budget?
Do I get
that's $50. That's this.
Smart.
And then we can add it all up. We can leave what we don't want and take what we do want.
That's so clever. Okay, so we're seeing, with the globalization of the world, that I sound like 100, but, social media, shopping, online is bigger than ever before. So brands are oftentimes hosting these sales online, whether it's a warehouse, archive, clearance, whatever. They might have a separate site. When you go to Origin, then you go to Origin Outlet or Country Road Outlet. How do we approach online? Because there's not the frenzy of people grabbing things or getting parking or whatever, but it's still exciting. The dopamine wants to rush in. You want to click and buy. How do you approach when there's an online sale that might be, for a limited time or really, really good? How do you do that?
Firstly, if it is a website that takes you externally, say like Country Road and Oroton, I would also just be really careful about the website that you're on and shopping and making sure that it is
real.
My
girlfriend bought so much from the decode warehouse and it was a fake website that had sponsored the ad or whatever. And she was like, no, that's it. And she got ripped off.
Yeah, so just doing that first little bit of research.
Smart.
Secondly, I would have a look at the returns policy.
Yeah.
That is huge. Some places are final sale, which means what you get is what you get and you're stuck with it.
And with sample sales, that's generally IRL. It's like you just take it.
And I have had luck in returning something before,
Oh.
and that was because the item, I think, didn't last.
Right.
I wore it once and it broke apart. I contacted, it was Henny actually.
Oh, good.
And I contacted them and I said, this is what's happened.
Yes.
And they were like, normally we wouldn't do this, but we'll go
That
ahead
is
and
so
change
nice.
the item over for you.
And just back to real life before we keep going on online, but oftentimes there might even be a separate section where it's like seconds or slightly damaged, and they might put a little sticker that says, you know, missing button or pulled thread, so you know what you're getting. But with online, check the returns policy. Smart. I always just figure you can't return it, but nice to know you can. It takes that risk away.
If you know the sale is coming as well, build your wish list before the sale starts.
I wish I was you.
If you are a popular size or there is limited sizing list, it means that if the sale goes live, let's say tomorrow, you've already got the items in your cart. Some of them might not make it to the sales category. You can get rid of those in your cart.
Yes.
But otherwise, you can check out quite quickly and
clever.
secure your size, and you know that you're getting what you want.
And again, I guess if the sale's coming and you, like you said, if you're preparing to do a real one, but it's online, you can go to your wardrobe and try on or check the size. Or if, you know, a sale's coming up or you're just interested in a brand, try it on in store and then head online and wish list it.
Yeah, and one of my biggest tips for shopping online in general is I would never see something, put it in my cart and then check out without first putting the item name into Google Shopping, because Google Shopping is going to search the whole web.
Yes.
And you might actually find the exact same item on a different website for cheaper.
Yes.
And it might be because there's a first-time offer, and particularly when it comes to smaller online boutique brands.
Yes.
Which is also fantastic because then you're you're supporting small brands.
But you're still getting a bargain.
Yeah.
I use the Carted app for that, and I also use the Honey plugin to see if anyone's got a code.
I definitely use Carted.
Also, just put it in your cart and leave it there, because oftentimes brands will do abandoned cart. So I have a skincare brand, and after 24 hours, I shouldn't tell the whole world this, if there's something in your cart and you haven't bought it, we send you a 10% off code. Some have got 15, 20%. So just leave it there if you don't need it immediately. And I guess that's not in a sale, because that's, you know, there's time. Depends how much you want the thing. Do you filter? Like, I guess you filter your size, but do you go, okay, this is a fancy brand, I'm going to search up to 300?
I will often filter for the item type that I'm looking for, then lowest to highest.
Yes.
And then go into the price range filter and get rid of anything that's really, really low, because they're probably going to be like hair clips and
hair clips, socks and undies. Yes, it's so annoying.
Yep.
You're like, start me at the good stuff that's cheap.
Yep.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, imagine filtering high to low. Who are these people?
I do that for fun.
I do it for fun too sometimes. And then I'm like, what? Or like, you know, I like the Vinnie's online. He's good. I filter that high to low because I still think, well, you know, I might get a cheap thing. Okay, that's that. Let me ask you, any red flags, like any telltale signs of a sale might not be worth the hype, the travel time, the waiting in line? I mean, I guess that's what you're here for. But so many times what I've actually noticed is a lot of brands now will do, you buy a ticket. You don't have to pay for the ticket, but you book a time slot. Yeah. Because, you know, otherwise really popular brands, the line will snake down the 3-hour wait or whatever. And you're like, oh, I can't. Oh, well, do I wait? I don't know. I'm starving. I need to wee. I think that booking a spot is good. But have you ever turned up to a sale and gone, well, that was a waste of time? Or can you suss it out now from the outside?
I think it comes down to the brand and your personal values around shopping in general, and whether that brand aligns with your personal values. So that's going to be different for everybody. And the red flags that I'd be looking for are things like quality. What's the quality of the brand? The fabrics that they use. So I'm really cautious of sales that I see online, which I don't promote, where it's everything is $5 or everything is $10.
Yeah, like,
I'm cautious of the sustainability of that. Obviously, that's for bigger price points as well.
Yes.
But when we're getting that low, it feels a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, sure. And I think also what I've learned is, you know, warehouse sale, you can make it like think it's really fancy and big, but if it's in real life, check the location. Sometimes it might just be their little store or a little rack in their store, but they're really hyping it up. And so you're like, yeah, and then you get there and there's 3 things. You know, I want a warehouse. Yeah. Not so much, but, you know, like I want a decent amount to go through. Tell me about the change room situation. I'm fine with communal. Like you say, it's smart to wear the right shapewear. I remember once recently I was wearing the daggiest period undies.
I do that all the time.
But then I wanted to try on this sheer thing. There was so many women, like helpful women that worked for the brand. And I was like, oh, I just don't want you to look at this bit. But then I'm like, we're all women in one area. But do you have any advice? Do you do the whole thing and then try on? Do you ever get an arms full, try those on, go back?
It's a little bit different for me because I am lucky enough to go a little bit early, but
Yes.
usually I do a loop around and then
Suss it out.
I will suss it out in general and then do another loop and try on.
Clever. I go to the back first if I can. If it's big and it's busy, because people just get in and start looking, I try and go that way.
Can I tell you my first thing that I would do when you walk in the door?
Yes.
If there is a samples rack, I would go straight there, straight away. That's my first point of call.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sure, because maybe I haven't mentioned it in a post, ask the person at the door.
Yes.
As soon as you walk in, point me to the sales rack.
Samples. If
point
there
me
is
to the samples rack.
Yes.
That is where you're going to get the cheapest items. There's
bargains.
also going to be one-off items that aren't there amongst everything else. So that is like
Straight
my
there.
super best place to go.
Or like I said before, sometimes it's a faulty one or just damaged, but it's a missing button. And it's like a $700 jacket, $60. I'll buy a button. I don't care if it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then my second point of call after you've done your samples rack would be go to the shoes and accessories. Because often what happens with brands is they do these glamorous giant photo shoots for websites for product or for advertising. And they'll have their product that they're selling, but then they style it with other brands. So quite often you'll go to these sales and you can find shoes, accessories from Loewe and Jacquemus. It's not uncommon that they'll spend big on the accessories to really make their clothes look amazing and at that level.
And I think also maybe if it's a sample sale, you know, they might have bags, hats that are one size and, you know, that it fits everyone. Good for gifts as well. Again, I went to one recently. Can you tell that you and I are twins? And I went to the shoes and it was a separate brand, but a brand that I really like. And I went, oh my God, I love those shoes. Oh my God, they're size 40. Oh my God, there's only one pair. And she goes, do you know why? She goes, we custom made those for Kendall Jenner for a photo shoot. And I was like, didn't she want them? And she's like, she's obviously got 10 billion pounds. I was like, well, I will take that. And I'm like, I got Kendall shoes. So you're right. It's like there's other brands oftentimes within or swim or, you know, like a little section. Some have kids sections.
We said before that a sample size in clothing is usually an 8. Typically footwear is a 40 when it comes to photo shoots. So we win.
Are you a 42? Oh my
well.
God, I love being a 40 only at a sample sale. It's
because
so
I'm not sample clothing, I am sample clothing.
And like thank you models for having big feet or, you know, anyone can wear a slightly bigger shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so true. Okay. The single best, most incredible bargain you've personally found. Can you narrow that down?
It's a really hard question.
I bet.
I've got a couple.
Yes. I will let you share more than
an old one and a new one.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Show and tell.
Show and tell. These are my wedding shoes. I picked these up at a designer shoe sale. They retail for usually over $1,000. I picked them up for $300.
Oh my gosh, they're so cool. And not dissing normal bridal shoes, but I'm sure you've worn them since. Like they're just cool shoes.
They're just very uncomfortable shoes.
Well, they're beautiful.
They are Carter shoes, I think.
Yes, they are. Yeah. That's an Uber shoe.
Yeah.
Oh, they're absolutely gorgeous.
But they are my favourite and an old one. My most recent favourite pick would be I walked into a brand in Melbourne, a local small brand. They had a sale. They had a sample rack. I picked up a wool blend coat that retails for about $600 for $100.
So good. And
in the middle of winter too.
Melbourne. Yeah, exactly. Like you want to wear it immediately.
And I have almost every day since.
I feel like I'll come down to Melbourne, we'll do a round, and then you come up to Sydney and I'll show you mine. You show me mine and you show me yours. All right. Any regrets? Surely you've had regrets. I'm a dopamine shopper. I'm an emotional shopper. I get swept up in the moment, hence my Carrie Bradshaw cowboy boots. Any regrets that you've bought in the heat of the moment that maybe still have tags on or you were like, shouldn't have bought that?
I have some things that still have tags on them that aren't necessarily regrets. Like we spoke about earlier. It's occasion wear. I've got a couple of dresses stored away waiting for me to be invited somewhere fabulous.
Me too.
But regrets earlier in my day would be shopping for who I wanted to be.
Yes.
Like that Carrie Bradshaw version of myself that's not realistic to who I am would be where the regrets come from.
Okay. And do you ever get swayed that because the price is so good, you know, it was $600, now it's $60. You're obviously a seasoned vet now. You can stop that from making you go, wow, I'm saving $540. Because you're not. You're actually spending $60.
Absolutely.
Do you try and take that out of the equation and just go, do I love this item? Will I wear this item?
I sometimes ask myself, would I buy this full price?
Yes. Clever.
And obviously that's not necessarily that it would be in your budget if it was
Yes,
full
yes,
price.
yes.
But would you have it in your wardrobe? Would you make space for it?
Yes.
Is it a good way to think about it? And
Yes.
it's really difficult in those moments where you're trying to go, do I buy this because it's really cheap? Is it in my budget? Does it suit my lifestyle? And it's hard to separate that emotion in the moment. But I guarantee you that 3 days later, you are not sitting there thinking about that item that you left behind.
You're not. And at the end of the day, you've spent some money. Yeah, you might have saved a lot of money if you were going to buy it full price, but you've still spent money.
And that's where we need great girlfriends when we go shopping with us, not to encourage.
Too much. Oh, don't come with me then.
But to say, is this actually what you want?
Yes. I almost have to be a solo shopper. I went to a vintage market on the weekend with a girlfriend. We went there and had breakfast, had coffee, and we walked in and we went, bye. But we texted each other photos and then we met up at the end. Okay. Is there anything you would never buy from a warehouse?
Wow.
I mean, we're talking fashion, but I mean, you can also get homewares, beauty, whatever. But like, I can't think of anything I wouldn't buy. I mean, I wouldn't buy used underwear, but I can't imagine there being a used underwear warehouse sale.
I would find it really hard to buy swimwear.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you do really want to try on, and you can try on over undies, but...
And that's also a really vulnerable thing to do in a communal change
Oh,
room.
yeah, I would not do that.
Usually it's an internal battle to,
Yes.
does this suit me? Do I like it? I'm not sure.
And even if you know the brand, like, so for example, I know my size in Seafoley, but the cuts can make things look different. So you often want to try it on.
And you really almost want to like sit and
Yeah.
think on that piece and that decision.
Yeah. Still, I'll go to any. All right. So besides following you, which we're all going to do and you're fabulous, I mean, you're Melbourne-based. Do you find that you mostly post about Melbourne?
I try to post about everything Australia-wide.
Okay.
So if I find out about a sale, everything makes it into my Instagram stories.
Okay. Oh, you're so good.
So Australia-wide.
Do you still work full-time?
It's just a reshare.
Yeah. It's true. It's just a reshare. And it's, it's your passion. Some people play golf.
I do have people in Sydney and also in Brisbane who will film for me.
Oh, that's
and
so
send me footage, and then
nice.
I will edit and post that. So being of the age that I am, I've got lots of girlfriends on maternity leave.
Yes.
And it's a fabulous opportunity for me, like, hey, do you want to do this on your day? I can give you some clothing, send me some footage, and I'll be able to post that. But I would really love to be able to post about everything everywhere.
And I think that's important too. A lot of people, live regionally or rurally, and, going IRL is a mission no matter what. So the more online, the better that we hear about. So you were touching on, before we get into bougie and budget, times of the year. I think that, we've come to expect click frenzy, Black Friday and all of that. But do you find that these warehouse or archive sales happen seasonally, or is there kind of a flow to that?
They are more consistent than they used to be through the year. March is the most busy time. March, and now it bleeds into April a fair bit as well.
My birthday's end of March.
Yeah.
I'm going to just ask for cash for the sales.
And
I wonder why.
I think it comes down to the calendars.
And I think probably clearing inventory before the end of financial year.
Absolutely. And we look at the period that we're in now towards the end of the year, and there is huge online global, we've got Black Friday, Christmas. So
like, I will never pay full price unless I
and efforts on that.
Desperately need it. Something's always on sale. And I think we've taught people to be generation sale. Yeah, which I like. Okay, bougie and budget. I couldn't bring specific things because I have so much to say. I want you to bring specific things if you want. Let's talk about your budgets first.
Okay, so my budget is, you touched on it earlier, Origin outlet.
Love it.
Silk scarves everywhere.
Yes,
I have one.
Yes.
Love it. Wear it to death. So many ways to wear it.
Yeah.
So this is a chocolate brown polka dot silk scarf. So we're hitting tick, tick, tick on the trends.
Aren't we?
I believe it is about $130 full price.
Yes.
It is reduced on the outlet. And then when you put it in your cart, it's
Extra
a further 20% off. So it's under $100.
Amazing.
However, I know everybody's idea of budget is different. If you're happy to swap out your 100% silk for a polyester, then Ruby by Cotton On have a paisley chocolate scarf for, I think, $13 on sale at the moment.
So good. I love the Origin outlet because what I do is I stock up on the umbrellas where they're extra 20% off because they're the best gift. Yeah. Everybody wants a bottle of really nice olive oil that you can't get at Origin, but everyone needs an umbrella. And so I've got a cupboard full of umbrellas ready for gifts.
Genius.
Okay, well, what's my budget? Okay, my budget is a story. A few weeks ago, my husband and I had the weekend off from our child. We were going away. Great. His favourite brand is Basic. He goes to the sample sale once a year, and it happened to be on the the Friday we were driving to go away. So we stopped into the sale and it was really good. I got a few things. He got a lot of things. Like for him, a lot of things is like 4. And then we went on a weekend away. He unfortunately had to leave early. And then so we had separate cars. And on Sunday on the drive back, I was like, oh, I'm kind of driving past where that is in Sydney to get home. So I was like, oh, I didn't really have a good look. I was helping him. Popped into the last few hours of the basic sale. Everything was down to $45. I'm talking leather pants.
Wow.
Or fill a bag for whatever. And so I filled these 2 paper bags. They give you the bags. And I went to the man. I was like, am I taking the piss? And he's like, nah, it's fine. He counted them all. I think I got 19 things for $100. So if there is a sale that you like, I mean, don't wait till the end. But you can always ask if you go on the first day or you've been before, say, hey, on the last day or the last half day, do you discount more or what do you do? I still, like when I think about it, I still get happy dopamine vibes that everything I got, I didn't try a lot on, but I know my size in basic. And I'd say out of the 19 things, 16 are absolute winners.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and it's really common for brands to further reduce.
See,
on the
I
last
wasn't
day.
sure because I'm normally a first girl, like I'm excited.
So am I too. But maybe if you're not sure about a sale,
yes,
go the last day.
Go the last day. Or send someone first and then you're like, okay, it's worth it, but I don't care if I don't really. So I'll go on the last day and see what's left. Oh my God, I was my happiest day. What's your bougie?
My bougie is from the Dom, which is an online outlet again.
I've not shopped the Dom yet.
Mm.
So it's a multi-brands?
Multi-brands, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Australian on there, which is fantastic.
Oh, I get their ads all the time. I will click now.
Yeah, and they have a further percentage or amount off if you first sign up. So this is a St. Agnes dress. It is a black column dress, strapless. You could wear it to a really fancy event with heels and a big earring, or you could wear it with a T-shirt underneath.
Or chuck a trench on.
Exactly.
You've sold it. Is it still online?
It is. So this dress is available in so many different sizes. It retails for almost $500 and then is reduced to under $200. So for a timeless dress,
oh my God,
for a really timeless, fantastic Australian brand.
That's half price. I'm going on the Dom. Oh my gosh, like I need another thing, like a hole in the head. Well, my bougie, again, it's not an item, but it's a place and a story. So you're Melbourne based. I wonder if there is a similar one near you. So we have in Sydney, we've got Birkenhead Point, which is quite good. We've got the DFOs, but recently opened and now opening more stores is the Rosebery Engine Yards.
I was there today.
Oh my God, you went. So there's Scanlon and Theodore. That's where the basic sale was. There's Scanlon and Theodore is the most recent one to open. There's Age, there's Camilla and Mark, there's Camilla, there's
Victorian
July
Woods.
Luggage. Yes, Victorian Woods. Few and far homewares. So if you're in Sydney or you're planning a trip to Sydney, definitely set aside half a day. I took 2 of my girlfriends who work in corporate and they got a lot from Camilla and Mark and Scanlon Theodore. There's the basic there for my husband. There's a bunch of other stores, Artemi. And so what I like is because that area of Sydney, if you're not familiar, kind of that Alexandra Rosebery, there used to be a lot of them, but they were very spread out and it was just a room in their head office or whatever. So they've just put it all in one roof. Black Star Bakery's next door. It's kind of a destination now, but of your premium brands.
Absolutely. And really close to the airport. Like you said, if you are traveling into Sydney, it's like 20 minutes.
I'm so glad you've been. I was like, oh my gosh, you need to go. It's just really great.
A couple of years ago when it was first
and there was only a couple of stores there.
It really has gained momentum as brands are moving there as a destination.
I found most Aussie brands that are kind of based in that area, as their lease comes up, they'll then put like a store in there and then those stores are reduced. Sometimes there's a small amount of full price, but then they have a sale on a sale.
Yeah.
So good. If anyone has one of those in their city or similar, we want to know. Sabrina, thank you so much. You are truly a service to us all. You're saving us a lot of money or helping us spend less money, depending on how you look at it. But thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for Nothing to Wear Pod. Be sure to follow Sabrina. I hit follow automatically. I can't wait to save some money or spend some money. And I'll see you next week.